Hello and welcome to my review of the Endless Spells for Lumineth Realm-Lords for Warhammer The Age of Sigmar from Games Workshop. Now these Endless Spells will cost you £28, which is a fair amount of money considering that they are made in China, in the same vein as all of Games Workshop scenery and all of the other Endless Spells. So that means it's on the harder, cheaper, harder to work with plastic compared to its actual miniatures that you get in the packs. The set comprises of 16 plastic components and also includes a 50mm round base and a 75 by 41.5mm oval base. The one thing I'll say is I actually did receive a second round base as well, not sure why. There's no other options, no other spells and things in the set, so I guess that was just a bonus, which, you know, if I've got another big character or something that I want to put on a 50mm base, then yeah, I can use that, which is pretty nice. I'm not sure everybody's will get that extra 50mm base, but there we go. So the format of this video will be as follows. I'll have a look at the individual sort of miniatures, pieces up close. There aren't any spare parts in this set, so I'll go straight on to some size comparisons with other Lumineth miniatures, and then I will go through all of their rules found in the Lumineth Realm-Lords Battle Tome. So first things first, let's have a look at the set and these miniatures. I call them miniatures. They're kind of in-game spells and the spells, but also terrain in a way. But let's have a look at the spells. So we've got these, first of all, which I can only assume are called the Sanctum of Amintok. You've got the stones on the left-hand side, which are clearly the Hessian or Hessian twin stones, and then you've got the rune of petrification. So this Sanctum of Amintok, yeah, very similar pieces. I think the concentrated electricity is a little bit different with each one of these. The symbols are the same though. You know, right here you've got the sea, and then you've got this sort of Eldar type symbol. The rock patterns and what's in the rocks are different, like there's a skull there, there's a skull over there. These are kind of integrated bases. Mold lines, not too bad, you just have to sort of clear it up. I haven't for this review. I just want to say before we look at the twin stones and you nail me in the comments about it, I haven't filed these at all. I was just pushed for time, so I've just literally clipped them off the sprue and cut them with the scalpel to cut the little sprue extra parts off. So that's those two of the Sanctum, and then this one as well. Same symbol, but the lightning kind of electricity effect is different. We've got a skull there this time as well. So very quick, straightforward to put together. You won't have any issues, not really any mold lines with this. I was expecting mold lines all in that lightning and things, and there isn't. So yeah, that's the Sanctum of Amintok Endless Spell. It's a bit of a pain to sort of turn that right. This is the Shrine of Petrification. Again, it's literally just one piece that you glue on the base. That's it. There are mold lines all inside there and along here. It's going to be a bit of a pain to remove these because, as I say, it's the harder plastic, so the mold lines don't come off that easy with your normal metal file. You may need a harder grit file, and if you use a harder grit file, then you risk sort of scratching the miniature itself. But there we go. That's the Shrine of Petrification, and then you've got the Hessian or Hessian twin stones. You can see the join there, which I have yet to fill with some Tamiya and also then some green stuff, and then file down. But this consisted of the most parts, and I was a bit confused about this bit because I thought it would kind of connect onto there, but it's meant to have a gap for the illusion. But yeah, it consists of a couple parts there. The stones themselves are 2 parts, and then this is 1 part, and then the stones there, another 2 parts. So this is the most kind of complex piece of the whole set, and it's not that complex really. But I like the effect. How they're kind of joined with this central swirly energy, and then they're also joined by the lightning. Looks quite cool. You know, and good luck you know, getting the old lines done on those stones. But I like the kind of energy there, that it's, negative. Like you've got the dark seeping from the light pink stone, and you've got the light pink seeping from the dark purple stone. I do like that. I like that effect. And the painting on them is just incredible. Obviously all that painting, and then it's almost like non-metallic metallic with white highlights. Yeah, incredible paint scheme for these sort of low detailed miniatures, I want to call them. Right, so that is a little look at those miniatures of the Endless Spells. Let's get on to the size comparisons. So I'm not sure I've got Endless Spells for any other faction. I might have for Gloomspite, like with the spiders and things, and the cauldron. But for now, let's just have a look at some size comparisons with some Lumineth. So here's Lyrior. Lyrior is clearly the tallest out of all of these spell things. You've got Severeth, which, yeah, again, very tall. You've got the Banner Blade, taller than all those. Here's a regular sort of soldier, I guess, the Blade Lord. It looks like the stones are quite big in person, but they're not really, compared to like standard sort of troop there. But they definitely complement the army, all of these spells. Compared to some 40k miniatures then, so we have sort of a Space Marine, Primaris, and Slimarbo. Just gives you an idea that Petrification is the tallest one, but a Space Marine is, probably just less than half the height, and a Primaris comes up to about there on the stone. So yeah, you're not going to fit two of those in that height. So I hope that helps, comparing those. Okay, so this is my part of the review where I will go through all of the rules, and this is probably going to be like one of the longest sections of this video, because each one of these Endless Spells do have their own specific rules. In terms of points cost, the most expensive is that Rune of Petrification at 70 points. Then the Hessian Twin Stones are 30, and the Sanctum of Amintok are also 30 points. So if you want all of them, it's going to cost you 130 points for all three Endless Spells. Let's start off in the same order that I looked at the miniatures, and that is with the Sanctum of Amintok. It's a single Endless Spell that consists of 3 models. If it is dispelled, remove all 3 models. Magic. Summon Sanctum of Amintok. It has a casting value of 7. Only Lumineth Realm-Lords Wizards can attempt to cast this spell. If successfully cast, set up 1 Sanctum Amintok model wholly within 3 inches of the caster and more than 3 inches from any other units. Then set up the 2nd and 3rd Sanctum of Amintok models so that the tip, just the tip, of each model is touching the tip of a different model from the same Endless Spell, with each model more than 3 inches from any other units and with the caster inside the ring. Got to get inside that ring. As long as the Sanctum of Amintok remains on the battlefield, the caster and the Sanctum of Amintok are treated as being a single model from the caster's army that uses the caster's war scroll as well as the Endless Spells rules. It is treated as an enemy model by the opposing player's army. If the caster is slain, then the Sanctum of Amintok is immediately dispelled and removed from play along with the caster. If the Sanctum of Amintok is dispelled and the caster has not been slain, remove the Endless Spell models from play and leave the caster on the battlefield. Now, after all of that, what do you get? Well, it's called the Sigil of Ingra. Subtract 1 from hit rolls and add 1 to save rolls for attacks that target this model. Okay. In addition, at the end of the combat phase, if this model was targeted by any enemy attacks during that phase, roll a dice for each enemy unit within 3 inches of this model. On a 1 to 3, nothing happens, but on a 4 to 5, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound, and on a 6, that enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Very nice. So it's definitely setting one of these up. Setting one of these up is definitely a deterrent for your enemy to target them. Keywords: Endless Spell, Sanctum of Amintok. Now let's talk about the Rune of Petrification. Now this is the most expensive Endless Spell. It's more than twice the points cost of the other two. It's a single model, and in terms of magic, it's got a casting value of 8. Only Lumineth Realm-Lords Wizards can attempt to cast this spell. If successfully cast, set up 1 Rune of Petrification model wholly within 18 inches of the caster. Abilities: Turn to Stone. At the start of the movement phase and at the end of the movement phase, roll a dice for each unit that is within 6 inches of this model. On a 4+, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. It's pretty good, but it is only a 50-50 chance that they're going to be affected by 2 or more, statistically, mortal wounds. In addition, subtract 1 from run and charge rolls for units within 6 inches of this model. This ability has no effect on Lumineth Realm-Lords units. Keywords: Endless Spell, Rune of Petrification. Itself doesn't have a decent range, you know, just 6 inches it's got to be within an enemy unit, but the fact that it can be set up 18 inches of the caster is still nice. You know, effectively that's 24 inches, isn't it? You know, if you're going in a sort of straight line, you set it up 18 inches away and then you've got a further 6 inches. So yeah, it's not too bad, really. But then there's that 50-50 chance of it scoring the mortal wounds, but they are mortal wounds. Last but not least, let's talk about the Hessian Twinstones. It's a single model, and part of the description is predatory. It's a predatory endless spell. It can move up to 8 inches and can fly. So it's an endless spell that's going to be moving about 8 inches. Magic: Summon Hessian Twinstones. They have a casting value of 7. Only Lumineth Realm-Lords Wizards can attempt to cast this spell. If successfully cast, set up 1 Hessian Twinstone model wholly within 6 inches of the caster. So that's pretty short range. Abilities: Reservoir of Power. When this model is set up, place a d6 beside it with the 1 facing up. Each time a spell is successfully cast by a unit within 12 inches of this model and not unbound, after the effects of the spell have been resolved, increase the value of the dice beside this model by 1. If a Lumineth Realm-Lords Wizard attempts to cast a spell while they are within 12 inches of this model, before making the casting roll, the player controlling that wizard can say that they will draw on the power of the Twinstones. If they do so, add the value of the dice beside this model to the casting roll. Then, after the effects of the spell have been resolved, change the value of the dice beside this model back to 1. That's pretty nice, you know, it's going to boost your casting values and things. Keywords: Endless Spell, Hessian Twinstones. So there you go, that's my review of the Endless Spells. Pretty useful in the right circumstances. I like the Sanctum of Amintok because you get to subtract 1 from hit rolls and add 1 to save rolls for anything that's in there. I like the Rune of Petrification, although it's pricey. It's got a chance of, you know, scoring some decent mortal wounds. And then finally, I like the Twinstones because you can add the value of them to your casting rolls. What do you guys think of the Endless Spells? I think they're nice looking Endless Spells. Not the best looking by any means, but they certainly fit the Lumineth Realm-Lords, especially with those stones. The other things, including the lightning, maybe not, but they do have some decent abilities. What do you guys think? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Be good to hear from you. Thank you for watching. Techless protects.